ladies and gentlemen, CYBORG here, and I get very often asked the question, what is my favorite character? And right now I will make a video talking about my 10 favorite characters actually, so you have a big enough poll to choose from. But keep in mind, those characters are not ranked on how useful they are not ranked on how good they are simply ranked on how much enjoyment I get out of playing them. So over here you might even see characters that are placed in this list only because of the fact that they got smooth basic attacks. But looking at the list, most of them are going to be pretty good characters, so you don't need to worry about that too much. So with all that being said, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, let me know down in the comments what are your favorite Injustice 2 mobile characters, maybe subscribe for more content like this, maybe hit that bell button to get notified for every single upload, and let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 we are going to have Silver Cyborg, and I love Silver Cyborg because of two things, actually three things. He's got a special tree which is going to not do anything other than the fact that he's going to look very smooth and is going to look extremely good in terms of looks. He's going to have a passive that will let you take damage, because when you are out of combat you are going to regenerate it back, and yet again it's going to be a cyborg character, which means you are going to have very smooth basic attacks. While some characters are for times that I need to try hard and I need to really do well in some certain game mode, Cyborg is a character for the moments where I want to enjoy myself, I want to not care about my mistakes, and I want to play an overall enjoyable character. And yeah, I just remembered even his special 2 looks cool, like they don't do much. He's a good character, not an amazing character, but I simply just can't help enjoying playing him. With all that being said, he didn't make it higher on this list because I don't really play him that often. Now let's move on to the next character. At number 9 we are going to have Flora Poison Ivy, and this character is going to not be amazing at raids, but is going to be an amazing arena character because of the fact that she's going to have this special 2 which will be armor piercing. And you're like, well, yeah, she has an armor piercing special 2, there are a lot of characters that have this, yes, but her armor piercing special 2 is going to be used at any distance from the opponent, and it's going to get a vine out of the ground beneath him and is going to damage him no matter how far he is from you. So that is going to make you pretty much unable to miss it. And on top of that, on top of the fact that it's armor piercing and you can't really miss it, it's going to also inflict her passive, which will disable the movements of the opponent, so he can't rush, evade and stuff like that. So he will be, your opponent will basically be stuck in place while you are away from him, holding block and waiting for your cooldown to use yet another vine drill. And if you are going to have a Dr. Fate and a Power Girl in your team, you can simply do this on and on again without ever stopping, and it's going to be an amazing experience for you. Not so good for your opponent, but it's AI, so I don't care. Why she didn't make it higher on this list? Well, because of the fact that even though you are not using her basic attacks that often, I don't like her basic attacks. I don't like the basic attacks for Flora Poison Ivy, and on the other hand I haven't really used her much in the past, but she's a great character that I enjoy playing and I always love getting back to. With all that being said, let's move on to the number 8. Coming in at number 8 we are going to have Predator Batman, and he's going to be an amazing character, don't get me wrong. He's going to have armor piercing on his special 1, he's going to have a stun bomb on his special 2, and he's going to have a grapple hook on his special 3. I enjoy this guy because he's a jack of all trades. He's going to perform great as a damage dealer in arena, great as damage dealer in raids, and he can also be a support character for Silver Banshee. He only scored up to number 8 over here because there's one big downside to this character, and only one. You can't chain properly combos into a tag in with him. Like, you can tag him in after you chain combos with another character, but if you chain a full combo with him into a tag in with another character, it's most likely not going to succeed, because that's basically how basic attacks work for most Batman characters. And even though it's annoying, it's not a situation that you will encounter that many times to be to your disadvantage. But with all that being said, he's an amazing character. Keep in mind, those are the 10 favorite characters of mine in my entire game. So the fact that he is the 8th place means I like him more than like other quick maths 84 characters in the game. So yeah, I like him pretty much. So that being said, let's move on to the next character. Coming in at number 7, we're going to have Dr. Fate. And with Dr. Fate, it's a very weird story. We have a long history together. And Dr. Fate is the type of character that you kind of have to love. And if you don't love, you will learn to love, because you'll play him very, very often. And he will be in your teams, mainly in your King of Atlantis AQUAMAN teams. And he will mostly act like a combo builder of sorts. So his abilities are not important because you are never going to use them, and his passive is of course amazing, and that's one of the reasons that I enjoy him, because you can pretty much use him in any team. And almost any team that you're going to use throughout your game, Dr. Fate or Power Girl are going to come along with you. And while I do like Power Girl, I prefer Dr. Fate much more because he looks cooler, his basic attacks look cooler, and he's got a much better dash back when he almost teleports, and that is pretty smooth. So for those reasons, he scored all the way to number 7. He didn't score higher because if you take away his passive, he's a bare bones character with no purpose, but his passive is there, and I very much enjoy him for that. Now moving on to the number 6, we have yet another character that you will learn to love, even if you don't, because he's going to be there pretty much in lots of situations. And it's going to be SHAZAM, and I very much enjoy him because of the fact that he's going to have very nice animations. He's going to be a pretty new character. He's got smooth combos, nice animations, flashy animations, and I particularly find it satisfying when Retribution of Zeus triggers, because of the fact that it's just so satisfying to get your enemy denied his special move, and on top of that damage him and heal your entire team. It's always nice to hit that 20% chance to activate it, except for Raze when you're already full HP and it's just wasting time. But other than that, he's got smooth combos, flashy animations, a very enjoyable to play character, and a very rewarding and satisfying to play character. But another downside, except for the random special tree triggers, is the fact that in raids he can chain combos into a tag in against every boss. But when it comes to Arena and Champions Arena, there are some characters like, for example, at King of Atlantis AQUAMAN, that if you are fighting against and you are using SHAZAM, finishing your combo, and then you want to tag in another character, the tagging combo will not work and the enemy will do a jump attack. So I find that pretty annoying, but other than that, he's going to be an amazing character that I really enjoy playing. Coming in at number... was it 5? Yeah, number 5, we have Multiverse Armored Supergirl. Why I like this character? Well, I very much do like this character because of 2 things. First of all, she's going to have, actually more than 2 things. He's going to interrupt the special attacks, and he's going to land an unblockable tag in attack if she tags in from multiverse teammates. So what does that mean? It means that if you're using this character, not being able to properly do tag-ins will be a thing of the past if you are using her properly. And that simply gets out of the way a very big inconvenience in the game that I have with some other characters. And other than that, she's overall looking pretty cool. Her third ability and second ability just sound so satisfying to use. That sound is everything that I want to hear when I play her. And her special one is also looking pretty cool and is doing pretty amazing. And she's such a versatile character, and overall I very much enjoy playing her. She doesn't score higher on this list because I have recently gotten her on my secondary account and I kept playing her there. If I get to play her more, she would probably score higher, but for now she's going to score over here. And something a little different to the next characters. I don't particularly enjoy her basic attacks, like there's nothing wrong with them, they chain correctly, no flaws about it, but I simply don't really like them. So that being said, number 5 is going to be amazing considering for how little time I have gotten to play her, and let's move on to the next character. Coming in at number 4, we are going to have Emerald Green Lantern, and he's going to be very satisfying to play. Because of the fact that, first of all, is his passive, where you get a random buff on tagging. Some are good, some are not so good, some are good in some specific situations or some with some specific characters, some not. But it's always that a surprise aura to it. Like, you tag in, you don't know what buff you are going to get, and you always get surprised in a bad way or in a good way. It depends, but usually it's in a good way. And other than that, I really like his basic attacks. I really like the Green Lantern basic attack movesets that they got over there going for them. I think it's a very smooth one, a very satisfying one to play. They punch a lot, they got a long reach swipe right attack, and on top of that, a very enjoyable factor about this character is going to be his special 2, which will decrease the incoming damage by a very high percentage, and at the same time you can chain this into continuing your basic attack combo. Overall, an extremely satisfying character to play that I enjoy playing every time I get a chance, and a character I can pull some very amazing victories with. And his special 2 is pretty cool looking. He didn't score higher on this list because, well, I don't need to justify it at this point. It's already number 4 out of 92. I really love this character. With all that being said, let's move on to the number 3. Coming in number 2, we are going to have Atlantean Armor Aquaman. And I really enjoy this character because he's simple and he's straightforward. Like with other characters, you need to worry about a lot of things. You need to worry about doing some combos correctly. You need to worry about when to tag in. With Atlantean Armor Aquaman, you don't even need teammates at that point, so who needs to worry about tag-ins? All you need to do with Atlantean Armor Aquaman is sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, hold it with one hand or hold whatever you want with one hand, and with the other hand just keep pressing special 2. Because special 2 is going to heal you, is going to power drain the enemy, is going to deal that damage. So what else would you want? Maybe armor piercing, he's got that on his special 1. What else would you want? Maybe smooth basic attacks and long reach basic attacks. He's got that, he's an Aquaman. Atlantean Armor Aquaman is one of the laziest characters in the entire game to play because he's so easy to play and so mistake forgiving, and that's why I love him, because you need these fights. You're going to fight a lot of hard fights in the arena and Champions Arena, and sometimes you really need to sit back and relax, and Atlantean Armor Aquaman is going to be able to do that for you. With all that being said, let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we are going to have Batman Ninja Lord Joker, and I really like to play this guy. Like, if there is one thing I want to hear first thing in the morning when I wake up is going to be his sound of using his sword. The sound of his basic attacks and the sound of his third special is going to be very satisfying to hear. The sequence of his basic attacks and his basic attack animations and his third special attack is going to be yet again very satisfying. He's a very underrated character with a lot of potential in raids. And I love him for all those reasons. I don't think there's anything more to explain. Go ahead and play him for yourself. I don't recommend building him straight away since he needs a very specific team to work properly, but he's going to be very satisfying and very fun to play, in my opinion at the very least. And with all that being said, let's move on to the number 1. Oh, come on now, don't act surprised, like you saw this coming, you were expecting this. What other character could I enjoy playing more than Darkseid? He's got everything that a character needs to have. He's got armor piercing, he's got power drain, he's able to do an infinite combo. You get bored of playing Darkseid, no problem, you can play his minions. His minions are going to have a borderline infinite combo that you're able to do with them. His minions are going to have 2 special attacks. You get bored of that, they die, you play it again Darkseid. You can use his super move, you can infinite combo Brainiac until he dies in raids. You are going to have a shield to make you wipe away your mistakes. You're going to get healed for every enemy that dies, so you get rewarded for your good playing. You're going to get rewarded for every teammate that dies, so you get rewarded for playing bad. There's simply no way to play Darkseid. Oh, I forgot, the Apocalypse Bombardment. You don't want to play Darkseid in the field at that specific moment and you tag him out? No problem, he's going to bombard the enemies from being tagged out. I simply can't find a character in Just Mobile that is more enjoyable than Darkseid. He's going to have all the parts of a character that I really like. He's going to have smooth basic attacks, nice and flashy animations with his specials, an infinite combo, ways to heal himself, ways to forgive mistakes. You can sit back and relax while playing him, and at the same time you can try hard. In my opinion, in terms of character designs, he's the best character in Just Mobile. He's not the best character in Just Mobile in terms of strengths and in terms of overall things, but in terms of designs and in terms of satisfaction meter when you play him, he's the most satisfying character in Just Mobile. So with all that being said, this was everything for this one. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to let me know down in the comments what are your favorite characters in Just 2 Mobile. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe for more content like this, and maybe hit that bell button to not miss an upload. This was CYBORG, and I'll see you in the next one.